for joining us on this mountain road. We're going to go through a lot of curves. Johnny's Car Care and Reviews, covering what I love and the few things I disliked about my Mustang GT. So this is a 2022 Ford Mustang GT convertible. As a convertible, it does a fantastic job of giving us a wonderful drive. So obviously a lot of the love has to do with the drive, you know, the beautiful scenery we get to see with this. And with the little black back glass of the 10 things we love about the vehicle, that's one of them. You throw in a little back glass or a mesh and you will have the ability to drive at very high speeds and not be bothered by the wind. You get the sun, you get to be out in nature, but you will not be bothered. Without it, it's actually better than, nonetheless, than a lot of convertibles. And one thing, you know, if you look at the convertible right here, this T-top Corvette, now those are gorgeous, and I love them. Marie, I like them more than Marie, but I love the Corvette, but the suspension compared to this Mustang is hard. This is a great, you know, GT, Grand Tour. It's in the line of the original Grand Tours for taking you across Europe. Well, this will be a great vehicle for taking you across the US or Canada. You know, here in Quebec, we have horrible roads. And one of the strongest points for getting a Mustang is this suspension. It will hold you really well in a corner. And in the corners, I'll show you in this video, I can give it gas even in a corner, and it just squats down, glues itself, and you feel like you're on a train on rails. So this thing does corners like it's on rails, but it can still handle bad roads. And you know, Marie, if you just want to show the road, this road has been patched. It never gets rebuilt, it just gets patched. So it has holes, it has, you know, uneven patches in it, cracks all over it. So truly a garbage road. It'll get a little smoother here, so thank you for sticking with us while there was a bit of camera shake. But we love the technology of the Mustang as well. You know, I'll show you the exhaust sound in just a moment, but right here in the dash, you can see we've got, this is the 401 Premium. So you can get this when you get the Premium 401 full digital screen. You can see right there, we're in track mode for the exhaust. You can put the exhaust in a silent mode, a normal mode, sport mode, or track mode. And in track mode, if you stomp on it, you might get pulled over. We went by the police earlier, but I'm easy on the pedal, so we didn't get pulled over, even though you're only supposed to use track mode exhaust when you're on the track. And it sounds great. Listen to that rumble. Give it gas in just a moment. So stick with me. You're gonna hear the exhaust on this, one of the nicest exhaust notes you're gonna hear on the market today. Something that sounds that incredible, folks. So the Mustang, it's giving you a great ride. It's giving you great, you know, very good comfort. Amazing comfort for a sports vehicle. You know, it's not a luxury vehicle because this thing needs to still glue down and, you know, take you through those corners. The paddle shift is, you know, I'd say our third love on this vehicle. Love how we can play around with the paddle shift so we can really make sweet, sweet music with that exhaust. Second thing, the modifiable exhaust. So if you get these, a must-have, order your active exhaust package. You need the active exhaust package to be able to play around between silent mode for getting in at 2 a.m. to, you know, full out, you know, hands down, incredible opened up exhaust sound from this 5-liter V8. We love, you know, the fourth thing, we love the technology of the V8. It's both port injected and direct injected. So you're getting fuel efficiency, burning more fuel, more power, fantastic engine. It's high tech, it's designed more like, you know, the dual overhead cam system. This isn't a push rod engine, which is very American and old school muscle car. This is European dual overhead cam technology. Tons of power, comes with 450 horsepower or 460 horsepower, depending, you know, who you're asking, what automobile journal you're looking at. It has 420 pound-feet of torque. Easily, you can get so much more power out of this engine by just, you know, already the exhaust when you open it when you're in sport mode, you choose what gear. You can hold it in the gear, so if you know you're on the windy mountain roads and you want to stay in third gear the whole time, you can. You just need to have the transmission in sport mode. So we love the 10-speed transmission on this. Now, one of the things I don't like as much is the manual on this. The G-Track manual transmission, I'm not the biggest fan. I find it okay. Whereas the Tremec transmission from the Mach 1 and the Shelbys is one of the best manual transmission you can buy on the market today. So you can have one of the best manual transmissions from a Mustang on the market, but it's going to cost you more money. Now, let's continue with those, with the things I love. We just talked about a thing I dislike a little, the G-Track transmission. Tremec, one of the best transmissions, hands down. Now, I do love the comfort of these seats. They really hold us well, when we're going through that curvy mountain road. The seats really do hold us in place. So that's a huge plus for the Mustang. And I love the steering. The steering wheel feel is adaptable. So I guess this is sort of like a 7 and 8 thing I love about the Mustang. The steering wheel is electronic power assisted steering. So less mechanics, save on weight, better for fuel consumption. But what I love is the ratios are adapted. They adapt to your speed. So faster speed, smaller ratios, slower speed, bigger ratio. So, sorry, the opposite, faster speed, bigger ratio, so you don't just make a slight adjustment and get thrown off the road. But here's the 8th thing, you got modes, steering wheel modes. So you can be in normal steering, you can be in sport steering, and comfort steering. And in all those steering modes, the ratio between the wheels and the steering wheel is going to adapt. But you're controlling the parameters for where it's going to be adapting. So fantastic vehicle. Now a lot of people, they're not going to say, they've got bad things to say about convertibles. And that's old school thinking. Older convertible vehicles are very loosey-goosey, floppy in the corners, and sloppy when you stomp on it because, well, they twist. Whereas here, you actually have a very safe convertible. The bar here, crossing for your windshield, can hold the weight of the vehicle if you roll this thing. So very, very safe. And because it's very strong, it's offering fantastic structural rigidity. So this thing is very solid. It does not flex in the corners, no matter what speed you're going at. And of course, the stabilizer bar on the GT is under the hood is huge. So this thing has great stabilizer bars on it. It's not something you need to dump money into just to be able to go through some mountain roads at a great speed. Now, I'm pretty happy with the interior. The premium on this, there are base Mustangs with the tiny little screen I'm not a fan of. Now the new Mustang coming out, fixes all of that. The technology on the 2024 Mustang, the interior looks great technology-wise. And if you do get a premium, you see you've got this soft touch, imitation leather with even the stitching. So adding the stitching to the imitation leather, soft touch, plastics, fantastic. Any reviewer that says there's way too much plastic in a Mustang, I don't know what they're talking about, because you even have the soft touch up on the doors here. Ford listened, old Ford Mustangs were plastic everywhere. This is not the case. And even the door insert here, it's actually, it must be imitation leather, but it looks great. It's got fantastic stitching, little perforated leather as well. Mustangs get criticized for being, too low end, but have you seen the inside of a Porsche 911? They're literally 3 times the price of this machine, and the interior of a Porsche 911 is not better than this. And have you seen the inside of a Camaro? This is much better than the inside of a Camaro. And I've experienced, long-term experience with Mustangs. I bought older Mustangs in the past. Our 2015 to current generation, the insides are going to last years. They're not going to start falling apart at 100 miles, 100,000 miles. So love the Mustang. The 10-speed, fantastic transmission, shifts faster than any human could with a manual. So it's got a fantastic 10-speed. It's got that great sport mode. I would like bigger paddle shifters, and I really dislike that the paddle shifters here are small and made of plastic. small little thing, but it cheaps out the vehicle. But hey, you know what? You can buy metallic add-ons that look great and cost next to nothing and will completely change the feel when you're using that paddle shift if you use the paddle shift. So there's solutions to everything in life. Just have to have an open mind. So we're very open-minded when we do car reviews. Now we've had this thing for a little over a year now, and I gotta announce it's time that I sell it. Marie and I have big news coming along the way, and we also have Bronco on order, and the Bronco is going to fit in much more with our lifestyle. So that's what's going on for us. We've got a Bronco. We ordered it end of March, actually very early April, because of some delays in the system, some problems with the system, and it's going to be big. It's getting built already. It's a Wild Track soft top, and it's going to be getting built now the week of the 15th of June. So we're going to have that by about mid-July, because once your vehicle starts to get built to when you get it, you should usually expect about 4 weeks. We do like the sound system in the Mustang. For the price point on the Mustang, the sound system is a 10 out of 10. Is it the best sound system we've ever listened to? No. But it's also not 3 times the price like a Porsche. And we love the speed of this, of course, because this accelerates to 60 miles per hour, depending who's doing the test, where they're doing the test. It's roughly about 4 seconds to accelerate to 60 miles per hour. So fantastically quick vehicle and just a great sounding vehicle. They come standard with push start. They've got really good bass equipment, the new 2024 with the screens everywhere. Fantastic bass equipment. Let's go one last time, give it a little gas here. So all the way to the cutoff for you folks, and that's okay because I don't do that very often, and you got to do it a few times before you sell it. So we're saying goodbye to the Mustang. We've loved it. We're not disappointed. It has been very reliable to us. Mind you, we only have 6,300 kilometers on it, but it's only cost us oil changes. When we've had older Mustangs, our older Mustangs have always been very good to us, very reliable, problem-free, except for a 94 and 95 Mustang. Both of them needed a new coil, and one needed a new module for regulating the fan off the radiator. But heck, that's on basically what, almost a 30-year-old vehicle. Mustangs are extremely reliable, extremely well built, and they're no longer plastic everywhere. We love the Mustang. Marie, do you want to say how you feel about saying bye to the Mustang and how you've enjoyed it?
You know what I would say? You have too much car, you need to make a choice. So with the Lightning, my Maverick, and you have a Bronco on the way, so yeah.
And the Toyota MR2.
Yeah, Toyota MR2.
I must have put, besides actually paying for the MR2.
And never use it.
We put in maybe $6,000, $7,000 into it. And we've driven it for about 150 kilometers, and it needs probably another $2,000 put into it. So I got to start using that vehicle, and it turns out that I can only drive one vehicle at a time. So that is your bombshell of auto news. And you can only drive one vehicle at a time.
Yeah, the Bronco does everything at the same time. The Convertible, the truck, that's perfect. We don't need a Lightning and a Mustang when you have a Bronco.
And in the Bronco, you can have the top open, and if people sitting in the back can have shade. So we can get sun while, individuals in the back can have shade. So that's going to be important for us. So thank you very much for watching this review, you could say, long-term review, and saying bye to our Mustang, our thoughts, our likes, our dislikes. Now, the 10-speed transmission, it can be a dislike, but if you get certain years, mostly 2018 to 2020, you might have a transmission that has a bit of a hesitation. Ford does offer a reprogramming for it if ever you get touched by this. And because Ford offers a free reprogramming, this remains one of my favorite automatic transmissions on the market. Unbelievably quick, responsive. You can play around with the paddle shift. This thing's great, folks. Sad to say goodbye, but we've got new projects coming up down the pipeline, so stay tuned. Do like and subscribe, and help feed those poodles with your subscription. If you do hit the bell notification, you won't miss out any of our information. Take care, folks.